Asaba, but Rakufi Asayaba. Asayaba. Rakufi.
KMJ.
Man.
A brav like no other, man. It's been forever. I didn't echo.
I mean, don't wait with the inside. The woman didn't echo.
Yeah.
You're a father, you're a musician, you're a creative director.
Keep going.
You're growing.
Push it, baby.
Oh, no, but for real, Rakufi's age. You turned 50 years a couple of days ago.
Yeah, on the 6th of June, 2025.
50.
50.
You don't look it.
The big 50, yeah. Because, you know, I'm blessed like that.
No, it can't just be blessings.
Yeah.
Yes, the blessings, yes, but you must have been doing something right.
Seriously, if you ask me, I don't know what it is. I don't know, but I'm just happy that I'm here and I'm looking this young at this big number. And that's about the only thing.
You stay off certain things that makes it easier for you.
Alcohol, no, I've never been the person to, you know.
Never tasted alcohol?
Throw it down. Oh, I've tasted alcohol, yeah. But I'm not a big fan of it. You know, people make it a duty, like every day, some amount of alcohol should go in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I never smoked. Nah.
Never.
Not even fish.
Not even when you were in your prime and
not even. No, I don't even smoke fish, my brother. If those are the elements that will keep you looking, like probably I'm looking at this number, then people must pay attention. But aside that, I don't know what it is. I just think it's the making of the Lord. You know. Yeah.
You think less of many of the things the industry thinks about. You don't make it your priority to be worried about.
The industry issues, oh, come on. I've been on radio all my life, 27 years of active broadcasting. I have discussed industry. It has become my problem. I've solved some of the problems in the industry. So I don't think shying away from the problems would do what you think it would do. No.
Because a lot of people do that. It takes them into depression. You've never been to that point of your life.
Man.
Career.
One thing I have always been particular about is happy yourself.
It works.
It does. Time heals all. There are certain problems that you don't have to take steps in solving them. You allow time. They solve. So if you think and you know you cannot even contribute a strand of hair to what you already got, what are you doing? How far is that going to take you? You get it?
Yeah.
It's not every problem that you solve. There are certain stages in life, whatever endeavor that you're on, it has its obstacles. It has its breakpoints. If you don't go through them, you don't get to the expected end. And you seriously have to just relax, know that this is for the time being, and it's going to be over at the right time. That is how come you're doing everything possible, but it's not being solved. You get it?
Yeah.
And then you overthink it, you go into depression, now you're on medication, you're doing this, it becomes a mental issue. Nah. I think I learned this too early, and therefore I benefited from it. It's not everything that I allowed to get to me, no.
At a time when a lot of people felt that you have a very solid brother, things were not moving the way you guys wanted it. They were saying a lot of things about it and all that. At that time, you had experienced this, so it was easier for you to deal with that situation. I would have been on a different level when I had faced that situation.
You mean the Akyeame breakup?
Yes, because it was a beautiful love.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people are attacking this person is attacking this person. Between the two of you, people don't really know what was going on. I mean, you'll be thinking about it. Why are people saying this? These are not true.
One, I was shocked. Two, I was surprised. But I didn't get the emotional breakdown because of my father.
It wasn't because of the bond you had with Okyeame Quophi?
Most definitely. I mean, it was about 16 straight years of very tight friendship.
Yep.
You know? And then you wake up one day and you see it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Akyeame breaks with a thunder I remember that front page story.
And the thing
that
they
Bishop said that
women, money, their wives,
none of that.
You know,
none of that. None of it. You see, God brings people together to serve a same purpose, and when it is served, He takes them apart. Something must kill a man. Something must happen. I was citing this example yesterday on an interview that I had, that John the Baptist came to prepare the way for Jesus. Okay? He baptized Jesus. Now Jesus is active and working. This young, beautiful lady dances for a king. And the king is like, oh, that's beautiful. I really love your dance. What would you want me to do for you for that dance? And she says, I want the head of John the Baptist. And she got it. You would think that such a great person that baptized Christ the Savior shouldn't leave the world like that. But it was time for him to go. And God would
That's how it happened. That's the way it...
That's how life is. We had served our purpose. From then on, we didn't require each other. Something should break you apart.
Wow.
It took me a long while to build this analysis and come to this conclusion. I had to read, I had to understand, I had to grow to understand that it was just time.
And he understood the same way you understand why you guys went to...
Tom Prince, man, we are two different people. Two very different people, so I cannot tell how he felt or how he processed it. I can only be responsible for my own processing, and therefore I can talk about my process.
Have you been in situations like you've mentioned, things that have happened and all of that, that at a point you feel like there's a certain calling of God on you? I remember some people said that they were even going to be a pastor.
I am an ordained pastor.
Is it?
I have had a church, not mine. I have served in a church for 7 straight years. I have preached.
After music? Or when we were still doing that?
After music. Is there an after music? Or after Akyeame, you mean?
Akyeame,
okay, now, after Akyeame, yes. I've been through that. I got a calling. It was published. Yeah. But my calling is not the everyday calling. My calling is digital. It is not analog.
Which it means what? You only preach on social media?
No, I am giving a mandate through the giftings that I have. And therefore, through those giftings, I lift the Lord. And I reach much more wider audience than to have a 4-corner room,
so you have a church,
4-wall room.
Like you're a pastor.
The world is my church. The world is my church. Wherever I get to, how I behave, how I relate to you, that's my preaching.
You see things, you prophesy, you get to that point. I've never heard you say anything on 31st December, that's what I'm asking.
KMJ. You want me to describe your future wife?
No, hold on to that prophecy first.
Can I prophesy?
Hold on to that prophecy first.
Hold on. I like that.
But in a space like that, when you hear most of the pastors, prophets say most of these things, you sit back, you analyze some of these things, and you think that
my brother,
the Bible spoke about it, and it's just what
you know that, you see, we are individuals, unique individuals who are also interdependent. God assigns everybody differently. People are on different tangents, people's callings are completely different. I cannot define everybody. So if that's what comes out of them, then you can only judge by what they are doing. Do you understand? Even in the prophetic, people say that they have the power to make conceive.
Yeah.
That's their specialty. Others say that they can foretell what's about to happen to you. Others say they are prophets and their prophecy is about finance. And then, who are you to judge? Are they able to do what they say they have been sent to do? That's the only way you can judge them. When they prophesy, does it come to pass? Because according to the scripture, that is the only way you can tell a true prophet from the bad one. Did it come to pass what they prophesied? And I think if you're looking for answers, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because yes, I've seen people say things. They come to pass. I have said...
You say that you do the same?
I have said things that have come to pass a million times. I was here in my office. Remember my office?
Yeah, at the top.
Right across the street. A boy came to see me about his music, and he is talking, playing tea, and I'm hearing things. He didn't come there for that purpose. And I called his name. I didn't know him from Adam. And if it is true, you know this is not your making. This is not you. Something is using you to achieve a purpose. Mention his name, mention the wife's name. He nearly jumped from that top. Then he kept asking, are you a prophet? Are you a prophet? Then I was asking him.
But you have intentions of putting up a church. Would you ever do that?
Never. I was called from the church. I was going to go the normal tangent. You heard the voice. You followed the voice. You're doing what is required. He said, nah. This is not what I want from you. You're going to leave and listen and do.
How was growing up with your dad like as a young boy?
I had a very responsible father. He made sure he had a very good home to raise his kids in. So you would probably say that I'm one of those people that grew up with a silver spoon. Oh. Not golden, silver is fine, you know.
No, some are struggling with bronze. If you had a silver
and bauxite,
a bauxite, you know, so silver is not bad.
Yeah. So basically, yes, he was there. He was actively working, an accountant. He was with the cocoa board, and yeah, a beautiful home.
When you decided that you want to have a career path, was it involved? Especially with the music
if you take me there, then I'm going to have a problem with my dad right now. Because
what happened? He
wasn't cut for it. He looked at me and asked me, that was the first question when he realized that I was towing, towards music. And then
he had a special reason why he felt that music wasn't supposed.
He himself was promoting music at the time with some bands. But he didn't ever think that, it was going to come from his loins. You get my point. I remember the day we went to him, I said we because I think I went with Kwame, or did I go alone? If my memory will serve me right. But I remember sitting with him at Asafa, later parts of his life, and I went to tell him that we were going to come to Accra to record music. He just laughed. He just... and told me that if I go and do any nonsense and anybody chases me, I shouldn't come to his house. Because he was thinking, music was still, you need the bandsman, you need the band. Do you have the money to get all these people in and blah, blah, blah. But we were living in a computer age. Yeah. Ataris and, programming, and then you were performing and all of these things. So he didn't understand it. But there's a funny part to it. Fast forward, we come to Accra, we record Bebro Bahima, then boom, it became a national, a hit. And everybody loved that song. And now he's walking around and they're pointing fingers. Okyeame Quophi's father, Okyeame Quophi's father. Then we continued. Then Mesonaba came and he became bigger. And one day I was lying in bed, he just barged into my room and was standing there looking at me. And I was staring at him. Then he went like, I'm like, and then I said, apparently, he had gone for his walk. He's coming back home and two boys are arguing. Okyeame Quophi Papa ni. The other one is like, Nyane Papa Bia. Okyeame Quophi. So they mustered the courage and approached him. And he said, yes, he's my son. And he walked away. A few meters away, he was still listening. And they were like, one of the boys, the doubting Thomas, was like, so now he's pissed. He comes home and come to question me that Mebano and I had it. You get it? Yeah. And I'm like, one thing I mean, anyway.
You didn't want this in the first place. And here we are.
But he became so proud of me, though. That I know. That I know.
You remember the very first time that you and Kwame met in the studio, wherever it was? That
we didn't meet in the studio. No. Kwame and I, we met at the table tennis place. There was a barber shop, the barber, Onana, in Fantini Town, Kumasi. Onana used to run a TT board, and it's lose the pay. So you go there, you pick up the bats, and you play. If you lose, then you go and play.
Yeah.
But if you are winning, you are actually bringing competition, and more people are paying. So that's how he ran his business. And I was playing, and Kwame came to get a haircut. And then he wanted to compete. I didn't know him from Adam, this lanky, dark, big forehead boy. And then we got into it, and I was beaten. And I didn't have money. But that's how I trusted myself, you know. I didn't have the money to pay.
That's trust. Because nobody's ever going to beat you.
Yeah, I knew I was way better than all of them, but he beat me to it. And I'm like, Masa, now you put me in trouble. Well, how am I going to deal with this? And then he was laughing, you know. We started talking. I'm like, so what are you here for? He said, I'm coming to Baba. I said, you have the money? He said, yes, okay. Give me the money, I'll cut your hair. And he trusted that I could do it. And I knew how to barb.
Okay.
So I took him to my place and gave him a haircut. Then he went home. I took the money and paid the and that's how we became friends.
I see. So it started from friendship, not even music.
No. How music started, Kwame felt like he could rap. And I was writing all along since secondary school. You know, I'll rap. Heavy D, MC Hammer, LL Cool J, I Need Love, all those songs that I used to get the girls with that, you know.
Oh.
In the classroom, I'll be rapping, and
you had
they'll be like, "How do you do that? How do you?" And I used to write letters for boys to, you know, talk to girls.
Between
all of that. So me writing has been my thing. Putting lyrics together that will mean things to people, I do that a lot. So there was a competition, Kumasi Anglican Secondary School. I think we were going to go for the long vac, and Kwame wanted to compete. I'm like, are you? Yeah, I can rap. If I get the lyrics right, I'll rap it. So I wrote something on AIDS, because the campaign was very loud back in, this is 1991 thereabout.
Okay.
Yeah. So he just got the whole thing in his head, and straight we went and won 20 cities was the prize money. I remember very well.
It was a big deal.
Oh, yeah. And that long vacation, man, we had some good time. That 20 Ghana was for us to spend, man.
I can imagine.
So from there it was me write, Kwame perform, me write, Kwame perform, me write.
You were not on stage.
No, it wasn't my thing, never been my dream. Then he was like, man, by the time you're through with this script, you know it.
Yeah. So why don't you just...
So write one, I will say mine, you say yours. It will be beautiful. So he actually lured me to actually do that. And we thought about a group name, started. Even then, I was the writer, more like the manager as well. You know, Kwame used to be called Wizkid, right?
Yeah, Wizkid, yeah.
Yeah. I gave him that name.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was popular with Wizkid. As a champion,
that was when he started writing for him, he was performing. You gave him the name.
Yeah, I gave him the name.
So whose idea was Akyeame?
Both of us. Both of us. We had to brainstorm and come up with something that made sense, something we could explain. And Akyeame came up, and we defined it as, you know, we serving as the mediators between God and man, communication. So we stand in the middle. We download, we outpour.
What was the best way of dealing with, and it's current pressure most of the young talented artists actually face, women at the time? What was the way you guys dealt with that situation at the time?
I had to take scripture. Kwame's Methodist, I am Methodist, and those days it was in our head that it was sin, you know. So I think that was the most stern kind of correction we had, the mindset that women will lead you astray, so keep your head together. Alcohol is bad. Keep your head together. Smoking would not lead you too much. Keep your head together. That is what actually steered us. And so we veered away from what most people would like to experiment with.
Even at the time as popular as you were, the money was coming, everybody's around you, youthful, exuberant.
From you know, a major hit, I've always had a girlfriend, and everybody knew my girlfriend back then.
Who was that?
Oh, is that the subject matter? Can we move on, please? I still want to have a marriage after here.
No, but that was way back.
Yeah, it is way back.
Is he a popular person that
I'm saying that to let you know that I've always been straight with these things. Everybody knew that, this person.
Okay, so it's difficult for any other person to be running around you and all that.
And I did that to myself to check myself.
Okay.
You get it, yeah. And I can only speak for myself at this point.
So when you meet with the others, everybody's just jumping around, people are having a drink up and all of those things. You're not attracted to any of that?
Man, I will mingle, I will have a hell of a good time, I will do everything. In fact, I'll be in the studio there smoking, secondhand smoking. I'll get out of the building. When it clears, I will come back, but I'll never take a puff. I'm strong like that.
It's a lot of discipline.
Yeah, I'm strong like that, even though my father wasn't strict. So I have a divergent opinion when it comes to using all sort of methods to keep your son or your daughter in check. Sometimes the best is allow them to grow. Just say what you have to say. It's good enough.
It works for you.
It worked for me because I was always working to impress my father, because later he explained to me, he acted like I'm not watching you. I remember I became the school prefect. I was elected. And then happily I went home to tell him that guess what happened in school today? He said, what? I said, I was made the SP. He said, I didn't papa in school. And that thing go me, eh?
Yeah, of course.
It go me, because then from there, I was trying hard for him to understand that I am the Nipa Papa.
Yeah.
But later on in life, he made me understand. He set the tone for that. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. What are some of your fun memories with him, your dad?
Oh, the arguments. Oh, we could argue to the skies and back. Not disrespectfully, though. Respectfully, on matters, on politics, on a lot of, when I was of age enough, I mean, I'm on radio, I'm talking about things, he listens to me, I'll come back home, he's like, you said this, I don't agree with you. I'm like, I'm not doing it for you. And then we'll go back and forth at it. And I remember one line that he always says, he's doing something you don't like, you're complaining, he'll be quiet, looking at you and say, do
you miss him?
Oh, yeah.
In reference to that?
Every day. Every day. Situations that he spoke about will come up, and I'm like, where is this man? You know, he was an amazing father. Amazing father. Had a relationship with his children that you would, you know, somebody could only imagine. And he was the ladies' man. Even from my mother, we were like 7. I'm the last of 7.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
last
the last
baby?
Yeah, last baby. And also come after twins. And outside...
So you are terrier then?
No.
Technically?
I am Abam.
Abam?
The one that comes after the terrier.
Okay, so last but one.
So 2 boys, 5 girls, yeah.
Okay.
No, I am last.
You are
terrier is last but one. So the twins, terrier, and then me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the order.
Yeah. I didn't know this, actually.
Oh, yeah, not too many people know.
Yeah.
No. But outside, he had a lot of kids. You know, he's a produce buyer. You go to Tepa, and you see that thing.
I know Cuckoo Board people.
Yeah. You know them, eh?
My dad was a Cuckoo Board.
So he also had kids around? Now I'm thinking of going to Cuckoo Board. I want to be like my...
But how do your kids relive those moments you've had in the past?
Unfortunately, it's only Callista that met him. that he held. Not even met him. He held, would actually put around his neck, over his shoulder, and pat on the back and stuff like that. Beyonce, no. Jojo,
yeah.
No, they didn't grow up to meet him. He actually gave it up and left a long time before they could actually call him grandpa. Yeah.
But they sometimes relive those moments. Like, you tell them stories about how mega.
Every time. My son walks like my father, smiles like my father.
How's that?
When I look at him, I see my father walking in my house. I keep telling him, and now, when I say it, he will say, I know, you've said it enough. Everything, the way he walks, the way he will analyze certain things, the way he will... Jojo is my father, yeah.
You believe in that. I believe in that to a large extent. After the passing of my mom, two of my siblings gave birth, and we had exactly my mother in the picture. My senior brother daughter looks exactly like my mom. In fact,
we are people of reincarnation.
I got to believe that at that time, but I don't know if that is real. It's true.
It is real. It is real. By a construct, this body that you're sitting there with, it's not who you are. The real person is what is inside you. That makes this body active. That is what will leave your body. And then we have to bury this body. And the spirit that is inside you is the Spirit of God. Does the Spirit of God die?
Nope.
He goes and comes back. It doesn't die.
So traditionally, it makes sense when we have some of these.
When you name somebody after somebody, you are invoking spirits. Yeah.
That's serious.
But the Romans told you different, so probably your mind has never gone there.
So, I don't want to get to our forefathers' spiritual.
When I say Romans, I'm not talking about the church. Let me clarify.
Okay.
Because when you say Romans, it's Europe.
Yep.
It's the same people, only rebranded. So when I say Romans, I'm not talking about the church. I'm talking about Caucasians in Europe. Thank you.
It works. Did you have to tell your story to your kids? Did you have to tell them that I was a mega star? You guys have no idea who this man you're dealing with is.
Oh, I'm glad you put it in the past. Did you say what?
But still is, by the way.
No, I'm just pulling your legs. Yeah, we've had conversations, especially with Callista.
Callista, yeah.
You know, I've been grooming her to become something, you know, because she exhibited these artistic instincts as early as 6. So I've been working with Kali, you know, all of that. And sometimes I need to pull some of the old records to let her see the picture. And later, she had to come asking questions. She's reading the internet, the little that she gets, and then she's listening to what teachers are saying. Hey, your father was a star. Yep. Your father used to be the thing, you know. And then she'll come with a lot of questions and all of that. So yes, they know. Before I realized she was rapping my verse in Mesanaba and Kwame's verse, then yeah, she could do it by herself. And I didn't have to teach her that. And so they come.
In terms of career path, was it easy for them or for you to understand that this is where they want to go? And so I will know.
There's a reason, you know, this language that we have gone to buy that we're using has certain words. Guardian. That's the duty of a father, if you ask me. I guard. I don't impose. Because my understanding is you're here for a mission. You've been given a duty. It's just that God used my place as your airport for you to come out of. And therefore, I'm going to look out for what you naturally are. And then with my little knowledge, I will guide you to become. And that has been my duty. So when I look at my 3 kids, I know what is in this one, I know what is in that one, I know what is in this one.
And there's no conflict in any way?
No.
So what they want to do and all that.
My second child, she sings, but she doesn't want the business.
Okay.
So I'm like, you're being lazy. Won't you get in the studio to record something? She told me, Daddy, I don't want this thing.
Yeah.
And I've never forced her.
But are you not scared, Callista getting into the business? Critics will come after her, what she's wearing, what she's doing, what things she's singing about. You don't feel worried about it sometimes?
Why would I be?
That's your daughter.
Am I next to her right there?
Not, but it could affect her. And that's going to be affecting you as well.
Explain the effect.
If she's not able to deal with criticisms from people, you know how this industry is. What you wear, people are looking at it, they're saying things about it. What you're saying, even making reference to your dad and all of those things.
If
that's what it takes to be able to deal with it. If
Kali would break because of what other people would say, I've failed as a father. She knows too much to allow things to get her.
Okay.
There are too many examples to fetch from. She'll put out a record and they'll come at her, and all of that. And then she will smile and she'll work harder. She'll come and wake me up and say that, I've got their reply, let's go to the studio. And then she'll just go and speak. When she started writing for herself, I realized that she understands too many things. When you listen to her, oh my God.
Yeah.
Then you know that this girl can think. She knows where exactly she is and where she's going. I listen to her rap and then I get to know her better. Sometimes I get worried, but she's not. What I feel like is going to break her, she actually gathers and turns into some crazy film. She's human. She's broken before.
Okay.
And she's gotten the talk for that break. And she picked up herself quickly and she's always on the road.
And that's all she needs. I mean...
yeah. So if she's still breaking, then I have failed completely.
That's true. Your house is full of creatives. You have a beautiful wife who is also very creative. She's been there, she's done this, all that. In terms of support, how would you describe your being part of her life and she being part of your life, like Stacey?
We are talking about my wife now?
Well, your house is full of creative people.
So we are talking about creatives?
Contributed to it. How do you describe the kind of support she's given you over the years to become the man you've become?
I have one rule. Everybody has a name, as far as I'm concerned, in that house. It actually ends at the gate. When you get out, you are Okyeame Quophi, you are Stacey Amate, you are Callista, you are Beyonce, the daughter of Stacey and Okyeame Quophi, you are Josiah, the son of... You can play that out there. When you enter my gates, you are the first child, you are the second child, you are the third. You are Mrs. Amate, I am Mr. Amate. It's a family affair. Nobody wears any title in that house.
Really?
And that's how we operate. Out there, you can be who they say you are. But in here, you are my daughter. You can be star in
the house.
Because there are moons, but we've kept quiet.
That's true. That's true.
You cannot be a star in that house. When my wife gets home, she's Mrs. Amate.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. And if you just join us here on the show today, we're celebrating the man Okyeame Quophi, the man you've known to be part of Akyeame. You know, now he's a creative person, director, doing a lot of incredible stuff out there in terms of commercials and all of that. And he's here spending time with us. But we'll be wrapping up very soon, though. But you're still doing music. You've got a new one out there, Toto Opako. The kind of names you give to your songs.
Pasiato. Toto Opako.
Why?
There's another one coming, but I'm not going to just reveal that.
I'm just imagining what that one is going to be. Toto Opako. Let's take a listen to...
to do back up. Now be share the four. And you'll be the commentary. Where's your when I didn't say I teach your ma? Only Bano Negasa. And in a money in your dinner some sanity money. Obi unity was said. Then so Yama and Ganfunti. Show me other breath. Ariabano. Wouldn't even try.
Back of you, baby, I don't know your my line is back of you.
Your double Maya. What's your being to me? What did to Topako? Now be shared before.
Was it a revelation? Did you?
This was inspired by everything that is happening in the political circles.
So it's a political song.
It is not a political song. It's a general song that advises, that actually makes you put yourself together, embrace your own self, and prepare yourself for your actions. Do you understand?
Yeah.
What I'm saying in the song is, to anybody who talks too much, know that there's trouble around. Because out of the spoken words, you shall be judged. Okay?
Yeah.
And today you feel like you are in a better position to call the shots and just treat people anyhow or do things your way just because of a certain power that you carry. But don't forget that a time is coming.
It won't be there anymore.
It doesn't matter how strong that you are. So in the song at the portion I'm saying that debi etimi etwa debi. And then a buobi etimi pai buobi. So when there's that turnaround, then you will realize that there are other powers that is even mightier than your power.
Yeah.
And at that time, it doesn't really matter how much money you have made. It cannot save you. So watch your step. Just be careful. Dealing with people. You see, that's a very... And yeah, I fetched a lot from... You see, others have come up to talk about me criticizing him. No, I'm using his situation to actually send a message to people that he's fighting a good cause. He fought a good cause. But when he was taken by Iroko, the same people he fought for, he had to call on them. You understand? And he has the money in the world. Did he bail himself?
No.
You understand? So when certain situations come, money cannot save you. And even though you fight a good cause for other people, you need to take care because people are funny.
All right. We're going to be going back. Before we go, one question, one answer. In the industry, if you're pressed, if you're in dire need, if you're in somewhere, you need to make that one phone call. Who's that person you're going to call?
Who's that person I'm going to call?
You know, this person would definitely bail you out. Like one to me was bailed out last minute.
In the industry?
In the industry. Who's the last person that person you know when you call, you saw it?
Nanama McBrown.
Okay. Just one person. Nanama McBrown.
That's the only person.
Great. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
KMJ.
I really appreciate you spending time with me. And he's a father, he's a big brother, he's everything. And when I'm in trouble, this is the man that I'll definitely call anytime that I want him to even
I remember that call that early morning.
I know.
Yes. I remember that call, but we are not going to talk about that call.
No, not at all. All right, guys, that's our time for this morning here. And we also understand news coming in indicate that the nurses have called off their strike, which is a good thing because we want them to get back to work and, save lives out there. So a big thank you to all the nurses and midwives out there. We appreciate you. We love you. And I'm sure the government will do everything possible to ensure whatever you deserve is given to you. And, that's all we have to do. But is there any last thing you want to say? I'm
good.
Baby.
I'm good. Let me just say this quickly, that to every father, kudos. The responsible ones, kudos.
That's for the responsible ones. They get 3.
You cannot change somebody's status as a father. Once they bring somebody to this world, they could be responsible or irresponsible, but they remain a father. You cannot change your father. Neither can you change your mother. So to the responsible fathers, double kudos. To the fathers, they at least planted the seed, kudos.